Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Biriz-zahar of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and we are back deep beneath Gundabad and ready to continue getting the answers that we were getting at the end of last episode. So Mótsog showed us the visions of all the previous Durins, but, well, our Durin doesn't seem to be so thrilled yet.
I will not be swayed by honeyed words from an enemy's tongue.
Did you mark how often he called me his friend? But it is not so. Remain on your guard and I will do the same. Durin stares coldly at the beardless dwarf standing in the ancient crypt. I know you for an enemy, Mótsog, and I demand that you account for yourself. Do you deny your treachery?
I do not deny it. Durin, who was once my friend.
Behind you, Durin snorts loudly with disgust. It is true, Mótsog continues. Once we were great friends and you trusted me with your kingdom, but I do not deny my treachery. Hear how it was, and you may remember it anew.
Once seen, it was by the Mirror that Durin's heart dwelt evermore. When he went there to live, it was I, Mótsog. He left to rule Gundabad in his name.
How could Durin the Deathless entrust one such as Mótsog with the rule of his kingdom? It beggars belief, Biriz-zahar. Were there no indications of Mótsog's evil, or of his treacherous nature?
We had fought side by side against the creatures of Morgoth for many years.
Yeah, look. Durin the Deathless.
But it is as I said, his heart was captured by the lands he saw a-wandering.
A lake there is, so beautiful and clear you can see the stars reflected in it, even at midday. And such caves as you have never seen, dear Mótsog. But they cannot compare with those of our home, surely. Had you only seen them, you would understand.
But I had not, and I did not.
What of this metal you found? This true silver? I do not wish to disbelieve you, my brother, but I find I must. Every word I spoke of it is true. It is a metal of surpassing strength, lightness, and beauty. Mithril. It is a sign, my friend. The place where it can be found will be a new home for our people. I ask you again, come with us. No, Durin. My place is here. Oh. Then rule it well on my behalf, dear Mótsog.
Not all of the Longbeards chose to follow Durin to the shore of Zaram.
Alright, here we are at the real Hall of Gundabad that we can also see in its full glory. Oh my god, take a look at that. Something that I didn't comment on at the end of last episode, but also seeing this throne fully decked. Well, we're almost there, but it's still a marvelous sight. And everything. Durin took the great portion of the Longbeards with him to found the Dwarves Elf of Khazad-dûm, and I governed those who remained behind. Those years were hard and bloody, for the Orcs had been emboldened by the exodus of so many dwarves. They sought to conquer Gundabad. We held them back, but with so few defenders the cost was high. 6 of my 7 sons were slain in those wars, and only the youngest Mótbid survived but to be named my sole heir. My heart grew cold, and only orc slaying could bring me any joy. The heads of our enemies adorned the gates of the mountain home. Some among my people whispered that Durin had abandoned us to the encircling Orcs. During the years that followed, the whispers grew, and with them my own legend, noble Mótsog, who stood alone against all the forces of Morgoth, fighting to preserve his people. My son Matbit became the fiercest of my adherents, and in time he had me believing what was said of me, that I was equal to, or perhaps even greater than, the king himself.
It was at this time that a party of elves tarried in Gundabad. Their weapons shone with a brilliant luster, and all could see they were wrought of true silver.
How came you by those weapons? We fashioned them ourselves, good dwarf. Can you not see the fine craft of their making? Do you make mock of my father? Remember, you're a guest here, and still your tongue. The mithril was a gift to us from your king in Khazad-dûm. How can this be? Durin would not part with a metal so valuable unless it were a gift to the king he left behind.
My anger could not be contained. I had need of the true silver to fuel my war against the Orcs and Trolls. Was mithril not the domain of Dwarves alone? Here it was in the hands of Elves.
Oh my god.
But not before.
What did you do? Oh my god, no. What? The sight of mithril weapons in the hands of the elves had kindled a dark flame of greed and envy in my heart. How many of my people might have been spared had Durin given such true steel to we who remained? How many of my sons might have survived battle with the Orcs and Trolls that sought to conquer the mountain home had they possessed weapons of such quality? Only one son remained to me on that dark day, and it was he who slew the elf captain. His people leapt to the defense, wielding their mithril blades with deadly skill, but Matbit was not alone, and my worthiest commander stood with him. When the fighting was ended, my spear too dripped with the blood of my guests.
I claimed the mithril weapons of the Elves for my people. I had them reforged into 7 great warhammers.
Oh.
So too did I reforge my people. What once were Longbeards became something new. We became the Greymauls, and I the king of Gundabad.
Has Durin answered my demand? Will he deliver to us half of the true silver he has unearthed and half of what he mines henceforth? Or will he continue to waste that treasure upon the elves? He will not pay, father. He will bring an army here first. He will not give us half of his true silver? Then let him lose all of it to us in war.
I spoke boldly, but I feared the armies of Durin. What secret paths into Gundabad might you know that I did not? I I ordered the creation of a mighty golden city in the mountains.
Biriz-zahar. With its thick walls and defensible approaches, my new stronghold of Biriz-zahar in the high mountains to the south was secure from any assault. My loyal Greymauls stood at the parapets of my city and gloated, insisting that Durin's warriors would be unable to ascend the heights and the former king would meet our demands. But I wondered, and I worried. The defenses of Biriz-zahar were strong, but I feared they would not be strong enough. Word reached me that the former king had assembled a vast army of Longbeards, and even now he marched at its head to put down the revolt. We could not hope to match such numbers as Durin levied, and the size of the approaching host was more than double my own. In Biriz-zahar I had built my tomb. This truth came slowly to me, but it did not come to me alone. The city is strong, father, but we cannot hope to match the strength of Durin's armies. What do you suggest we do, my son? There is only one who hates Durin and his followers as much as we. Let us make common cause with his servants, father. With the Orcs and Trolls as allies, we might stand a chance against Durin's greater numbers.
I see now that my son Modvit was possessed of a wicked heart. But I heeded his words, as I should not have done.
Whoa. Orc and Dwarf and Troll marched side by side in the Misty Mountains for the first time, and as Durin's own army approached Gundabad, my combined force fell upon his with a ferocity he could never have anticipated. The rout was total and complete, and the finest warriors of Khazad-dûm fled from the hammers of the Greymauls and the fangs of the Orcs and the clubs of the mountain trolls. Durin's eldest sons were slain by Orcs in that first battle, and I thought it meet. I had not lost my own sons, save Modvit, to such as they. It seemed little different to me at the time, though I had joined hands with the forces of Morgoth and his commander Sauron. It was Durin drove me to do so, and if there was to blame, let it lie with him. My forces returned in triumph to Biriz-zahar, and my commanders believed the war had reached a decisive end. I knew it was not so. I knew it for what it proved to be, the beginning only. Yeah, I was about to say that. Curious how you were fighting Orcs and Trolls. Angry when they killed your sons, but now we're so eager to join forces with them?
See you now that I deny nothing.
You who were Durin, you were my friend and my lord, but I coveted your title and your lands, the respect and the love that was given to you. I listened too closely to those of my people who whispered that I might truly be an eighth father of the Dwarves. Mótsog turns his attention to you. I, an eighth father to join the other 7. If there were 8 and not 7, my people whispered, about what else might they deceive us? Some suggested falsely that perhaps I awoke first beneath the mountains, and it was Durin who usurped my rights and privileges. Durin was the usurper. They were false whispers, but they echoed loudly in the halls of Gundabad while Durin was away, and I did not speak against them as I should have done. Their failure led in direct line to the Greymaul rebellion. Mótsog once again addresses Durin. No, my friend. I do not deny my treachery, neither do I deny the blood spilled by those who followed me. Just take a look here. Perhaps I awoke first beneath the mountains, because the other day I was checking... well, I was not reading the Poetic Edda, but I just found a fragment of it. The text that Tolkien used to create his own dwarves. And on the poetic era, it is said that the first dwarf was actually Mótsog, I think the name was, and after Mótsog came Durin. And well, we also have that fragment of the poetic era also provides the names of many other dwarves, some of which Tolkien also used to create his own dwarves. So we have things like Valin, Dwalin, Glóin, that kind of thing. But well, I have lost that paragraph, but I was so blown away when I found Mótsog as the first dwarf predating Durin, and so blown away by the way in which the devs took that and gave it their own spin to create their own version of Mótsog and Durin. So in case you were wondering where the idea for Mótsog and the Greymaul Rebellion came, that was it. And I was also blown away because, much like Tolkien, they went to the source of the mythos and elaborated from it. So kudos to the devs. I mean, slow clap and everything. I didn't know that the first time I played this. I just came to know this very recently, and that makes me like all this Legacy of Durin even more. I mean, impressive. Totally impressive.
These crimes are unforgivable.
Durin wears an impassive expression as he considers Mótsog. These crimes are unforgivable and they match my understanding of the Greymaul Rebellion. You deserve the death given to you by my ancestor Durin, to whom you owed fealty. You claim you were his friend? You say you speak the truth about the Greymaul Rebellion, but I deem you speak falsely on this. You are no friend of Durin, nor are you a friend of mine.
Finish your tale, Mótsog, and be done with it.
I care not if you repent of the evils you've wrought. Speak of Durin's judgment, and know that you deserved it.
I speak not of deserving, my friend.
Mótsog watches Durin, his eyes glinting in the dim light of the chamber. I speak not of deserving, my friend. I speak only of what occurred, and leave the judging of what was deserved to others. When Durin does not reply, Mótsog addresses you once again. My rebellion led to 10 years of war. 10 years of fighting levied a bloody toll on Greymaul and Longbeard alike, but still there was no sign that an end could ever come. At last, after 10 years, Durin devised a plan to bring the conflict to an end.
This was the plan of Durin, foolhardy as it must have seemed to those who cared for him. It began with his surrender.
Holy jeez. Oh, wow. Oh. Durin was brought in chains to the very summit of Biriz-zahar, where my people and their orc allies gathered to see the fallen king and make mock of him. He suffered their taunting and their jests for many an hour, but I could see no sign of despair upon his face. I noted it even then. Who now has the advantage, Durin? I, Mótsog, king of all the dwarves, will take what is mine. Hear me, you Greymauls. No, you are Longbeards, as I am. Do you not remember the lives you had? Your words will not save you, Durin. You will lie here, and none will remember you. Repent of your alliance with the Orcs. It is beneath you. Such evil cannot be.
this moment of triumph, my Greymauls saw not the danger. An army came by secret paths to free their captive king.
It was Ragna the Fierce, Durin's queen, who led them in secret across the river and to the base of Biriz-zahar. She was a mighty warrior and had slain Orc and Hrímil alike during the war, but now she found the gates of my city unguarded. Too many of my folk desired to be present at Durin's defeat. So it was that Ragna and her army entered the city unopposed. They found a stair to the heights and began to climb. Is Ragna also a name from the poetic era? I don't remember. Climb, my warriors! Save the king! Oh, here we have her. To the king! The king needs us. This way. Did we find such stairs when we were in Sunder-battle? I don't remember. But an army cannot remain silent for long. And when Ragna's warriors reached the upper levels of the city, my warriors were made aware of their presence. They raced to engage the interlopers.
Longbeard fought Greymaul and Orc in the heights of Biriz-zahar, and the lanes ran with blood.
I know of your crimes, Mótsog.
But you know not of this, Durin, for it was known only to few.
What? Morgoth and his lieutenant Sauron had not been idle during the 10 years of conflict between the dwarf clans. In secret, they devised a plan by which Longbeard and Hrímil alike might be destroyed, and the dwarves swept entirely from Middle-earth. And so it was that while Longbeard and Hrímil battled in the heights of my golden city, Sauron watched from afar. With malice afire in his heart, Morgoth's cruel servant sent a preordained signal to his legions.
9 great dragons swept out of the northern skies, raining fire upon the mountainside. The Orcs turned their swords upon Longbeard and Greymaul alike. We
must find the king. Follow me, my warriors! The words of Mótsog have painted the picture of a dwarf woman who will stop at nothing to rescue her husband and king. You can almost see her striding through the burning streets of Biriz-zahar, calling for Durin to answer her as Mótsog's voice fades. The heat of the flames feels so real. This way! My king! Can you hear me? Whoa. Etterfang? Really? Wait for me, Ragna. Right behind you.
How many great warriors died to Thorok's claws in Biriz-zahar?
Thorok too. Ah, yeah.
But dragons were not the only evils sent by Sauron to my city.
Oh, he did tell us. What terror lies that way? There can be no victory against it.
Askâdurs, reed and flame.
To the king. We cannot stand without him. But we were allies. Mudpit, already slain? Greymauls, to me! Talk to Mótsog. Yeah, just a sec. Thorok, Aetherfang, the Balrog Askâdurs, Durin's Bane. Who else was in here? Despite the danger and the foes raged before her, Ragna the Fierce did reach the high places of Biriz-zahar, and she freed her husband and king from his bondage. But that was not enough for victory. Durin picked up a fallen blade and joined the battle, but the Orcs were too many and the Dwarves too divided. The Longbeards feared to present their backs to the Greymauls, lest their foes take advantage of their distraction, and the Greymauls feared the same of the Longbeards. By the time Ragna freed Durin, 2/3 of the Dwarves had perished to flame and black steel. Sauron and his master, watching from afar, delighted in the carnage. The Orcs would win the day, and no dwarf would leave Biriz-zahar alive. Mótsog, we must set aside our differences, or all our people will be slain. You are trying to trick me. I am the true father, the king of all dwarves. For whom do you wield the Greymaul, my old friend? If we do not do this, our people will perish. Is that Hrímil? Yeah. Our people? Even after so much death. Our people, my friend. Hrímil of the Heights, she had not won the title of Frostguard yet. I, Durin, we stand together.
A great storm arose, and the mountain itself was sundered. The flame of Askâdurs was quenched, and he fled. He suffered grievous losses, but so too did Sauron. 5 dragons were slain at our hands.
5 out of 9.
Those that escaped would cower in fear of our weapons forevermore.
We have Hrímil, Thorok, Aetherfang. Who was the 4th dragon that escaped? Begone, worm, and never again trouble our folk.
And so concluded the Sunder-battle, and with it, the Greymaul rebellion. I was defeated, but the Dwarves survived.
Much I have seen in the years since the Sunder-battle might have transpired differently had I slain Hrímil Frostguard in Biriz-zahar. But it was not to be. And yet I know this. The memory of the wounds she sustained from the mithril hammer pains her still, even to this day. Mótsog falls silent and turns his piercing gaze upon Durin.
Durin knows the rest of the tale. It is not for me to tell.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we still have plenty of backspace. Fist damage, gambit damage and critical chance. Yeah, I might keep that one. Well, it's a teal one, so might be worth keeping. But I think we'll need to once again save this in here.
Is this some trick?
How do you expect me to know the conclusion of your tale, Mótsog? It is an impossibility. Durin turns to you, irritation on his face, but before he can voice his dismissal, his brow furrows with confusion. And yet, there is something strange, Beriathan. As I cast my memory to Sundergrot, I find that I see it not as it was mere weeks ago, but as Mótsog described it during the first stage, when it was the site of Biriz-zahar. How can this be? I don't know what happened following the Sunder-battle. Durin stares at you with amazement in his eyes. I was there, Beriathan, as I was in Moria and at Helegrod and in Mordor. I am Durin now as I was then 6 times before. I will finish your tale, Mótsog. I am the only one still in this world who can.
Hear then the end of the tale, as I know it to be.
For I am Durin, father of dwarves, first to awaken, and I was there.
The battle was ended, but there were tears still to shed.
The two armies of the dwarves had won the day, but each had suffered grievous losses, and yet their wounds did not quench their battle fury. Longbeard and Greymaul alike pursued the retreating orcs, slaying them by the thousand. The orc host was so badly defeated it would not travel the Misty Mountains for the remainder of the age. Consumed with frustrated wrath, Morgoth's lieutenant Sauron witnessed his allies' defeat and fled with the surviving dragons back to Thangorodrim, where he would face his master's displeasure. Let us hurry. The memory of the charnel house that Biriz-zahar became pains my heart. Right, before we do so, of course, this was a plan devised by Morgoth and Sauron, so this is something that I hadn't realized before, but it's also a really clever way of having all this story still be part of the Lord of the Rings in a way, because Sauron devised this plan that ended the Greymaul rebellion that in turn sprung the entire legacy of Durin storyline that we have experienced so far. And well, everything all the other Durins have witnessed is related to this as well. All the other 6 Durins too, but we'll get to that when we finish witnessing this. So many dead. Modbit, my son. What have I done? You must give me death, Durin. It is what I deserve.
I held the axe that would end your life, Mótsog. Even now I can feel the weight of it in my hand.
Why do you hesitate?
I remember the tears on my face. Tears so bitter, they burned holes in my armor.
Too many have died in this war, Mótsog.
So many of our people slain.
I will not water this earth with more of our kindred's blood. You will spare his life? Even after such treason? I spare him not for his treason. I spare him for setting it aside. What is it to keep the Greymauls from again taking arms against you, my king? The memory of such death, Ragnar. It is not enough. If the Greymauls are to keep their lives, let them cut their beards short as penance. It will be a reminder to them and to others of their shameful crimes. Let it be so. The wisdom of Ragnar will guide me in this, as it so often has. The Greymauls who survived the Sunder-battle, though they were few in number, were granted mercy. They were made to shear their beards short as penance for raising weapons against their proper king and for allying with the Orcs, and for generation after no child of a Greymaul was permitted to wear his or her beard longer than a hand's breadth. Oh, poor guys. Many dwarves looked upon the Greymauls with distrust for years afterward, but none more so than Ragnar the Fierce. She it was who suggested that dwarf women should remain ever vigilant in the halls of their folk, for hearth and home can be in danger when watchfulness fails. Ragnar swore to never again allow such rebellion to grow and thrive in the halls of her people, and for all her remaining years and for those of her daughters, it did not.
The wounds of the Greymaul rebellion were never forgotten, but Mótsog himself disappeared into legend.
A simple dwelling was fashioned in the caverns deep beneath Gundabad, and it was there that Mótsog went to live out his remaining years. I brought supplies and provisions to that deep cavern from time to time, for Mótsog refused to walk among the dwarves who lived in the halls above. Were those the provisions we found at the... on the last episode? Might be, right? As a hermit he lived, he who once pretended to kingship. He never again raised a weapon in anger. Was I his jailer or his friend, Biriz-zahar? I see now that I was both, but it was not I alone who kept him here. Mótsog remained in this place for the guilt he felt. And as the years passed, folk who lived in Gundabad and elsewhere forgot the dwarf he had been and remembered only his name and the ill repute of his deeds.
You were my only friend in those days, Durin, as you had been in the beginning. None others visited in my solitude. And that was just.
Mótsog? What has happened?
On my last visit, I found that you had entered a deep slumber from which you would not wake. Sleep well, my enemy and my friend. I wish for you pleasant dreams. May they show you that our people live on and are strong. Farewell, Mótsog. I knew it not at the time, but the first crafter heard my words. He gave to you the dreaming sight, to last until I returned and awakened you. And now I have, these many lives later.
Mercy and punishment.
I have remained in this chamber ever since, casting my dreaming gaze over the mountains, watching from afar the trials of the dwarves. I say it was mercy, for truly I deserved a usurper's death, but so too do I call it punishment, for I was unable to intervene or aid them in their struggles. On rare occasions, one of those I watched would seem to catch a glimpse of me, but never in my own form. Was this a cruelty of the first crafter, or some confounding jest? I cannot say, but this I know. Only once did he to whom I spoke hear my words. It was Durin who heard me, Durin who returned again and again with new visage, but the same spirit in his breast. Only Durin heard my words, my friend of old who showed me the mercy I did not deserve. So often had I sought to aid the dwarves in their trials, and so often failed. But when Durin stood before the anvil of Winterstith, I spoke to him of Gundabad and his right to rule the mountain home for all dwarves, and he listened. It must mean something. My long penance nears its end, and the prolonged hours of my dream must soon pass away. Soon I will wake, and Mótsog will be no more.
I deem you are his close advisor.
Mótsog addresses you once again. I deem you are his close advisor. I advise him then of this. I will walk in the world for only one more day before my long life is spent. When the sun sets on this day, my breath will be stilled and I will disappear from this place, never to return. In that time I have but one desire. I wish to do whatever my friend commands, for the vigil of so many years has given me this knowledge. Durin is the rightful king of the dwarves. He was my first friend, my dear companion, and having made him an enemy I mourned the brother I lost. Now in the span of the single day I have remaining to me, I will do what I can to deliver him his kingdom.
Conflicted.
I am grateful to know now without doubt that I am he who I wish to be, but Mótsog's part in this discovery does not erase his treachery, nor will it cause me to forgive his misdeeds. I must think upon what it is to be done. Were I not to be king when my father leaves the throne, I could say to Mótsog, "Begone, let the sun set upon you and trouble no longer the dwarves." That would even be just, for the wrongs of the Greymauls rebellion did not abate when the Sunder-battle ended. No, the injuries left by that conflict remain with us. Do Shelrook and Longbeard not bristle at the perceived slights of the other, and ponder if something of the Greymaul spirit lives on behind their rivals' clenched teeth? Do they not look upon the stout axe with distrust, brooding upon his long habitation in Mordor? The lesson of Mótsog was taught to the dwarves early and did not diminish with the years. Were I not to be king when my father releases the crown, I could climb the secret stair to the unknown levels of Gundabad, leaving Mótsog and what I learned here behind. But I cannot, for I will have the concerns of a king, as I did 6 times before. Mótsog is a tool to be used, Biriz-zahar, and I will wield this tool against our foes. I will use him to wrest control of the mountain home from both orc and dragon. Surely, Hrímil Frostheart will remember the Greymaul leader who injured her during the Sunder-battle, and without the power of the dragon behind him, the Gabil'akkâ will be able to deal with Gorgar. Durin once again addresses the impassive figure in the hidden chamber. What say you, Mótsog? Will you spend your last day fighting for the dwarves you once betrayed? I do not command you, I only ask it of you.
I swear to fight for you, my friend of old, my king, for as long as I am able.
Mótsog nods solemnly at Durin. I swear to fight for you, my friend of old, my king, for as long as I am able. I will deliver to you control of the kingdom I once stole, and if the last rays of the sun vanish behind the mountain before I seize your victory, I will perish with sorrow in my heart, and none before or since will know such grief as I know in my failure.
It seems the conquest of Gundabad will succeed or fail by nightfall.
Let us hope we will celebrate the victory before the sun sets on this day. I know what I must now do.
The time has come for me to call for Dwaromut.
A meeting of all the dwarves here in the mountain home. It was held at the Thingfold in the Welkin Lofts whenever dwarves had grave matters to discuss or a need that could not be addressed without a consensus of many dwarf lords. It was a ritual for the marshalling of war or the making of peace, and was common at one time. When Gundabad was briefly reclaimed at the outset of the Sixth War, the first Dwaromut in 4,000 years was called at the Fold, and the course of that conflict was decided. I will call for Dwaromut once again, Biriz-zahar. There I will explain the final steps we must take to drive Hrímil Frostheart and her thrall Gorgar from Gundabad. Only then will the mountain home be ours again. Climb the secret stair back to Zul'Masal. Seek out a leader of the Iron Garrison such as Bosior or his kin, glowing of the Longbeards. Brinsinger of the Shetlurka, and Imak of the Stout Axe, and tell them to bring their companies of dwarves to the Thinkfold for Dwaromud. Alright, while I do so, while I get back, a quick thought, well, some quick thoughts of what we have just experienced. Where do I start? I was blown away by this revelation. We already knew that this Durin was Durin the 7th, the one that will reclaim Moria, but there were so many blanks in it that the depths were able to fill. Not only did he reclaim Moria, he also reclaimed Gundabad. But not only is he a reincarnation of all Durins that came before him, he shares their memories, which was something that I did not expect, and it blew me away once again, being able to experience glimpses of all the previous Durins. The revelation of what the Greymaul Rebellion really was. The tale of Mótsog, who is really tragic as well, feeling abandoned in his home. It's reasonable a little that he would feel the anger, that he will rebel against Durin. And now what I know as well of how this is also another twist to the Poetic Edda, and how he created the hammers of mithril that gave the Greymauls its name, something that was right in front of our noses from the very beginning of the legacy of Durin. And something else that I've been thinking in the last few days, the mithril hammer, which in a way mirrors the mithril axe, or I should say the mithril axe mirrors the mithril hammer. But I also think it's really curious how we got two different mithril weapons on the dwarf themed epics. On volume 2 we had the mithril axe. Now we have the mithril hammer, which is also really important. So as you see here, the legacy of Durin might feel a little disjointed, or a little maybe even by the numbers at times. But when you get here and meet Mótsog and get all these answers, it suddenly turns the entire story on its head and shows you it was something else entirely. The legacy of Durin we have just seen, the legacy of Durin, which is what he did with Mótsog, what he experienced as the other 6 Durins. Basically the entire storyline of the Dwarves, of the Longbeards, is the legacy of Durin, and the trials of the Dwarves. The trials they have faced ever since Mótsog went to sleep. It's mind-blowing the way in which they can add a whole other layer to this story with just a couple hours of storytelling. Something that I was conflicted about the first time I played it, like your friends greet you with enthusiasm and with worry. Something I was conflicted about the first time I did this, because I wasn't sure how I felt about the idea that basically the meat of the storyline is given to you at the end with this twist. But the more I think about it, the more I think it really works. There is this Argentinian writer, Ricardo Piglia, who says that, well, short stories, most of all, have two different storylines. The one on the surface, the one that you think you are being told all the time, and then the second one, deep beneath, that it's truly what the story is about, but it's only revealed when you get to the end. And I think this is what the legacy of Durin is doing. And the more I think about it, the more I like it. I had just think about this relation with Piglia's works, but it really works. Man, I think they outdid themselves with this one. Maybe not outdid themselves. After all, the Black Book of Mordor was set a really high bar for them to surpass. But now that I think of it, they weren't as short as they initially thought they were. I think they delivered with this one.
What did you discover beyond those secret stairs? How fares the prince?
Has he need of us? We are ready. You tell Bane that Durin does have need of him, and indeed the prince calls for the rest of his kin to answer his call. Dwaromud. Can it be? I will send word to the others, and at once we shall assemble at the Thinkfold and there await Prince Durin. So Prince Ingor at Margrind, Glowing at the Steep Set, and Imak on Gloomintarn. Okay, we can do this. Okay, and now we also have the next portion of the story, which is Dwaromud. You would remember that Kirstig, well, we were investigating that with Kirstig. The 7th Dwaromud was prophesied, but hadn't come to pass yet. We are about to experience the 7th Dwaromud. And once again, I'm not sure if Kirstig will be there, but I hope she does. I hope she fulfills her wish of seeing the Dwaromud.
Dwaromud, eh? So, we come to it at last.
Good. The Shellroca will hear what the Longbeard Prince has to say, and we will await our reward when the fighting is done. Aye, there will be fighting, make no mistake of that. Durin called for the dwarves to assemble at the Thinkfold in the Welkin Lofts after all. Has he not considered how exposed that hillside is to the air? We will be meeting in full view of the peak from which Hrímil watches over the lands all about. One thing is clear to me, Beriathan. Dwaromud will decide the fate of Gundabad, and of us all, one way or another. With the title drop and everything, the fate of Gundabad. Yeah. Yeah, they were really able to tie this all up together in the end. All the different plot threads, all the different, all the things that were set up throughout the Legacy of Durin. It's getting really such nice payoffs that it's mind-blowing in a way, yeah. It was really worth it for this. We are almost done with the throne, as you have seen. We're already there. We just need to defeat a couple more giants and drakes to unlock the next quest of the Savadibin.
To think I should live to see another.
Yeah, you're right. You saw the 6th one, and now you will see the 7th. I remember the glory of the last, though I was just a lad. Thrain led a great attack upon the Fold, recovering it from the Orcs for the first time in thousands of years. He called for the Lords to determine where the hammer stroke of our war should fall. We left Gundabad when it was decided, and only a small garrison remained. Much might have been different had the mood chosen otherwise. Owain shakes his head. But that was long ago, and now our concerns are with the mountain home and not at Khazad-dûm. We need not have our attention divided. I will gather the Longbeards, Beriathan. My prince will have his mood. Just need to we just need to tell Imak now. Right, now, well, here we can technically turn the trophy to Velga, but once again, I think I'm gonna leave all the trophies for its own episode. So that will come later. For now, we gotta go to Watcher's Roost. We gotta look for Imak. I think the last time we saw Imak, it was at Carbronak, so I'm wondering what is he doing in Gloomintarn? Well, I think the Cradle of Durin has to have some importance to him as well. Or at least I hope it does. Anyway, we gotta talk to him now and see what he thinks of it. And if we're quick enough, we might be able to finish the Slayer deeds today as well. That's what I'm aiming for. My accelerator ran out as we were talking with Mótsog. But for just 4 kills, it's not worth popping another one. Even one of the shorter ones I have, it's not worth it. 4 kills is really simple to get, so let us just talk to Emac and go back to the Welkin Lofts to finish what we started. It's gonna come sooner rather than later.
Is that what it sounds like?
Well, you must forgive me, but I was not present at the last one. The Stout Axes had other things on their minds, as you might imagine. But I will attend this one. My people should be represented, for this mood may determine the success of the conquest. There are few of my people here, but they will answer Durin's call. Durin can count on my attendance and on my axe if it comes to that. Alright, now we gotta meet with the dwarves. Yeah, I can go through. I can use my milestone to go back to the Thinkfold. But we don't have enough time for the Dwarf mood today, so I'm gonna instead finish the Slayer deeds. The Slayer deeds. We gotta find. No, we gotta go to the north. Ah, my god, I'm lost. No, we gotta go to the south. We gotta find the giants. There's one in here, thank god. And the other one. Could have been here, but he isn't. But I think we can go looking for him really soon. Here we have the 2 worms we needed. That's fortunate as well. Well, the 2 dragon kind. Completed Welkin Lofts, Dragonkind Slayer advanced. So what we have in here. Reputation Fidelity is now level 75. Let us check this. Yeah, the Virtue XP and 5 LOTRO points to go with it. Alright. We just need one more giant, and I really don't want to go that far from here. Why is there not a giant in here? There was last time I came here. Let's see if we have better luck. Somewhere around here. Oh yeah, I see it, I see it. Oh, awesome, awesome. Just the guy I was looking for. Welkin Lofts, Giant Slayer advanced. Slayer of the Welkin Lofts and Deeds of the Welkin Lofts. So let's check all these. Fidelity, level 76. Some more Virtue XP. And Reputation. Now level 77. Another 2000 Virtue XP. And Deeds of the Welkin Lofts. Fidelity, level 78. Okay, plus some more marks and Embers of Enchantment and 25 LOTRO points. So, Giant Slayer Advance, 5 LOTRO points, 2000 Virtue XP. Slayer of Welkin Lofts, 10 LOTRO points, some marks and Virtue XP. And Deeds of the Welkin Lofts, another 10 LOTRO points, more marks and the Embers. So yeah, 25 LOTRO points. And Fidelity is now level 78. Cool. Almost 79. Alright, we're making good progress in here. But as I was saying, we don't have enough time today to finish the Legacy of Durin, which is a shame. We are so close. Just gotta do Dwarf mode. Ah, here we have the quest. Awesome. Ristigraver, the greatest foreman of the Ironfold, has learned the location of the secret jewel of Apgar. While the jewel has been found, it will take a skilled hero to recover it and return it to the throne. You should seek out Ristigraver as soon as you're able. As soon as we're able, yes, but that's gonna take a little bit longer. We still have a couple more things left to do. For the time being though, this has been all on today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.